So the Pi network just dropped a new update, and at first glance, it looks super simple. I mean, it's just a number and a name. But, in the crypto space, nothing is ever really that simple. These kinds of messages are almost never an accident. So what are they really trying to tell us? Let's dig in and break this thing down. Okay, so here it is, the full update. 314159, number confirmed by NICOLAS. That's it. But every single word here feels like it was chosen for a reason, right? From the number they used to the specific act of confirmation. So let's start with the most obvious piece of the puzzle first. The big question isn't just what this means on the surface. I think a lot of us can probably guess that part. The real question is, why send this message right now? What is the signal about where the project is headed? To figure that out, we really got to look at each part of this statement. All right, first up, let's tackle the number. This is the main event of the update, right? It's the headline. And understanding what this number symbolizes is really the key to unpacking the whole message. So, we've got 314159. For a project that is literally called Pi, using this exact number sequence, well, it doesn't feel like a subtle hint, does it? It feels more like a really loud, really powerful statement about their core identity. So, what's the big deal with this specific number? Well, if you've been following the Pi network at all, the answer is kind of baked right into the name of the project itself. And there it is. The number is a direct mirror of the first digits of the mathematical constant pi. This isn't just them being clever or giving a little wink to the camera. Nope. This is about anchoring this official update directly to the project's entire reason for being. It's a symbol you just can't miss. Okay, so the number is symbolic, that's pretty clear, but the message isn't just the number. The action word they used, that confirmation, is just as important, if not more so. So let's look at who's actually doing the confirming here. Confirmed by NICOLAS. Right away, this tells us two huge things. First, this is an official statement, it's not a rumor. And second, it's coming straight from a key figure in the project, which gives it a ton of authority. Naming NICOLAS specifically is so key here. This isn't some anonymous post on a forum or whisper on Discord. When you attach a founder's name to a statement, that is a very deliberate move. It's a signal that this message is coming from the absolute top. And think about that word confirmation. Why use that word? Well, in a community that is just buzzing with speculation 24/7, that one word acts like an official stamp of approval. It's designed to cut right through all the noise, put rumors to bed, and basically tell everyone, hey, pay attention, this is real and it's intentional. So we've got the symbol and we've got the official act. What happens when you put those two things together? What's the complete message they're trying to send us? When you combine them, the message becomes way more powerful than just its individual parts. It's like 1 + 1 = 3 here. The number grounds the whole thing in the project's identity, and the confirmation gives it that official weight and authority. It's this perfect mix of branding and a crystal clear signal of intent. So the logic really flows like this. You start with a powerful symbol that everyone in the community instantly recognizes. Then you have it publicly validated by a top authority figure. And what you get is a message that is designed to be seen as incredibly significant and totally deliberate. So, what's the bottom line here? The big takeaway is that this wasn't just another news bulletin. No way. This was a carefully constructed message, basically engineered from the ground up to be both deeply symbolic and, at the same time, undeniably official. So to quickly recap everything, we've taken what looked like a really simple headline and we've peeled back the layers to see it for what it is, a very intentional multi-layered signal. It's an official declaration from a key leader designed to powerfully reinforce the entire project's core identity, probably at a really important moment. And all of this leads us to the most important question of all, doesn't it? A message this deliberate, this calculated, it almost never just stands on its own. It's usually a sign of action to come. So now that this foundational, symbolic number has been officially put on the record, what does that unlock for the Pi network next? What's the next move?
All right, let's jump right in. If you're in the Pi network world at all, you have definitely heard the buzz, all centered around one very specific number. It's been lighting up forums and discussion groups. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and explain what we actually, factually know based on the latest official update.
And that's the big question, isn't it? In a project this complex, with roadmaps and technical details, how does one little number get everyone talking? Well, that is exactly what we are going to unpack right now.
So this is it, 314159, the number at the absolute center of this whole conversation. For this explainer, we are sticking strictly to the facts. We're going to break down what's been officially confirmed about these digits, and maybe even more importantly, what hasn't.
Okay, so let's cut right to the chase here. Let's push all the speculation aside for just a minute. What did the Pi Network team actually say about this number? What are the official words? This is it, the one thing you absolutely need to know. Let's make this perfectly clear. NICOLAS himself has officially confirmed the number 314159. This isn't just some rumor or a theory floating around the community anymore. It's a stated fact coming straight from the top. But the way this was announced is almost as important as the announcement itself, right? The framing tells us a lot about how we're supposed to see it. So let's take a look at how Pi Network is officially labeling this piece of news.
First up, they're calling it a Pi Network new update. That's a clear signal, isn't it? They're telling us, hey, this is fresh information. It's not some old piece of lore being rehashed. This is something they're actively pushing out right now.
And then, just to make sure you're paying attention, they also label it the Pi Network latest update. You see that repetition? That's on purpose. The message they're sending is, listen up, this is current, this is happening now. So what's the bottom line? It's all getting bundled under one simple heading, Pi News. And that's a bigger deal than it sounds. It takes this from just being a random comment and puts a formal, official stamp on it within their ecosystem. It's official communication. But, and this is a huge but, this is where things get really interesting. Because what was said is only half the story. The most critical part, you could argue, is the massive empty space they left behind. Everything that was left unsaid. And this slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? In one column, we have a simple, solid fact. The number is confirmed. But in the other column, you have this giant, gaping question mark. What does it actually mean? What are the consequences? How does this change anything? The why is just gone.
And let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. This isn't us reading between the lines. The official update itself gives you zero information on the impact or the implications of this number. None. The confirmation is just hanging there, all by itself, with no explanation attached.
So, with this giant canyon between the fact and its meaning, what are you supposed to do with this information? What's the key takeaway for you, right now, trying to make sense of this?
It really boils down to these four things. 1. A confirmation is not an explanation. Those are two very, very different things. 2. Yes, the number 314159 is officially part of the Pi story now. 3, and this is the big one, its specific impact is, as of right now, a complete mystery. And finally, that means knowing what's missing from the announcement is every bit as important as knowing what's in it.
And that's really what I want to leave you with. It forces us to ask this really fascinating question as we watch this all unfold. When a project gives you an update that is literally just a number, with zero context or consequence, you have to wonder, is the number the story, or is the lack of a story the real story? Something to think about.